Hello, all you lovely people of YouTube and Spotify. I'm your host, speaking to you once again on a lovely Friday. For me, it's a not so lovely Thursday, not because of anything in particular, it's just rainy and cloudy. Although some people quite like that kind of weather, so do with that as you will. Now, I want to get right into the main topic of this episode, which is recently a lot of a Destiny 2 survey has released, and it has me quite excited. For you visual listeners, you'll be seeing Destiny 1 gameplay in the background. Also, in case you're listening to this and you haven't drank water yet today, drink water. Just do yourself a favor and drink water. Anyway, the Game Post put out a thing, an article saying, Destiny 2 is considering adding Sparrow Racing League, unvaulted campaigns, NPC sidekicks, new subclass abilities, new Gambit mode, and more. New survey reveals. That is so much to unpack just with that title alone. What do you mean with all of that? You know? Like, that alone is so much. Basically, Edge of Fate, like, they pulled back a lot of the things that they've done so far for Edge of Fate. I was not expecting to be a Destiny podcast, by the way, but I'm talking about games I like, and I like Destiny, so I'm talking about it. How it goes. But like, anyway, they did Armor 3.0, they did all that, and like they're like, okay, well, people aren't really liking some of these changes we've made. And I mean, like, to be fair, some of them have been not the greatest, because they kind of soft vaulted 90% of the game, aka anything that's not in the portal, which is why they're trying to add everything to the portal. Honestly, I won't lie, I think the director was a bit better, but like they've already gone through with the portal, and they're going to try to make the best of that situation, try to make the portal better. Which I will give them props for trying to do that. Anyway. The article talks about, like, the player drops and, like, the concurrent players, all with Steam data, because, like, you can't really check anything else. So, first of all, in case you didn't know, they're not resetting the power. That was one of the major things. They were like, hey, we're not going to reset the power. Because, and, like, basically they were like, then they start talking about the survey. There's, like, an invite-only survey that Bungie sent out to select D2 players. And it was a one-time survey, and apparently, I didn't know this, so I signed up for the surveys from Bungie. If you get sent these surveys and complete it, you get, like, for this one at least, you get 500 silver in-game. Which is crazy. And in the survey, they asked, like, a long list of potential features to be added to Destiny 2. And, like, they asked the people who get the survey to rank them. And so, like, the first question was asked was, like, please rank the following potential features to be added to Destiny 2 in terms of their potential to improve your enjoyment of the game. And then the 5 options were new stasis and strand abilities. Hell yeah. Gear tier enhancement, i.e. the ability to upgrade the tier of a weapon. That seems decent, I guess. New simplified portal scoring system. Oh, okay. New void melee abilities. Yeah, they're kind of needed. Power prestiging, ability to reset power to 10. Okay. If I were to vote for any of those, if I got this, I would have voted for new stasis and strand abilities. Because, well, yeah, Uh, Fans have been asking for new strand and stasis abilities for years, so it's clear why Bungie wants to know if players still want new subclass options. Yeah. Anyway, we scroll down through the article, and then we get to the next section. Another question focuses on raids, dungeons. Here's the exact question. The exact wording is similar to the first question. Ranking question, asking players to order a list of potential features. So options are a Sparrow Racing League event or playlist. Hell yeah. Raid night, a day of the week where players can play the featured raid for extra rewards. Hell yeah. A new Gambit mode or Gambit event. Nice. New difficulty tiers to legacy raids and dungeons. Nice. Raid Rotator, legacy raids that are included in the weekly rotation that offer special rewards and unique challenges. Nice. Added old campaigns and other activities to the portal. Fuck yeah. Rotating portal activities each week. Daily/weekly competitive PvE events and new PvE modes. E.g. Combined Arms. And they outright said SRL, which is crazy. And then one of the biggest blocks in the survey is another ranking list for potential features to be added to Destiny 2. The options are unvaulted expansion campaigns such as Red War and Forsaken. Let me repeat that for you. Red War and Forsaken. They outright said those both by name. If you got this survey, you better be voting for that one. New clan upgrade and progression system. That would actually be nice. An in-game trophy room. Hell yeah. I'd love that. NPC sidekicks to equip and fight alongside your guardian. Now, my friends and I have been discussing a few of my friends and I have been discussing this. Ghost was like, what if it's like pets? And then I said two of them. Two options. It could be like Season of the Plunder, where you could summon like a random like group of like pals to fight alongside you, like, you know how you could summon the servitor or the vandal or whatever the third one was. I don't remember. Or it could be balls to the wall. You summon a guardian to fight alongside you, because I mean they showed that they can make NPCs fight alongside you. And like, I feel like, for example, let me give the example. I think I said this in a podcast a bit ago, but I'll say it again. Imagine this. You could summon Saint 14 and he'll fight alongside you, and he's just using Perfect Paradox. But then in the chat, he'll say Saint 14 summons the light. So it's like the knight, like the Hive Knight, the Hive Guardian, that like throws the shield. So he'll throw another shield. He'll throw a shield. He'll throw a shield. Then he'll stop, and then he'll go back to using Perfect Paradox. That's what I'm thinking. That would be awesome. But realistically, you'd be like summoning like, or I don't know, like I said, probably like one of your crew members or like some new like person, you know? Or it could be like characters we've fought alongside with before. So like we could summon like Mizrax or fucking Keitel to fight alongside us in a mission. Honestly, I do that all the time. I hope that one happens. But if any of these in the category I'm reading happens, I hope it's the campaigns. I'm not done reading the categories, so I'm going to say them. More replayable, story-rich side quests, more replayable, story-rich side quests for NPCs. I do hope that happens as well. More random encounters with other players while adventuring. Yes. New vault with increased space. They're already increasing the vault, but I get it. New onboarding experience for new and returning players. It needs to be so much better than what it is now. Oh my god. I realize I'm not playing anything in the background. I'm just reading the article. Anyway. An in-game Destiny 2 information glossary or an in-game Destiny 2 tutorial library. And then like they ask a few questions about like what would you want from Destiny Rising, and then they talk about the lawsuit, which I'm going to speak about that in a bit. But like, but safe to say, that article is rich with like, it's got so many promising things. And let me tell you something. It's got me excited. It's got me very, very excited. But yeah. Holy. That is a jam-packed article. And it's got me excited, like genuinely. Because like I said it in like a few episodes ago. It was like episode 40. I think it was episode 46 I said it in. But like, this franchise means a lot to me. It genuinely does. I love it dearly. And like, my friends and I were literally saying, if they re-add Red War, our week's over. That's all we're doing for the rest of the week. It's just replaying that campaign over and over again. And if they add Legendary, oh my god. I'm doing so many runs. That's keeping me into the game. And I don't know if, like, I doubt anybody at Bungie ever listens or watches this. But if you do, I will tell you, there is at least 20 people I know. And that's, like, not a lot compared to the grand scheme of things. But, like, out of the 50 people I know who play Destiny, 20 of them want Scourge of the Past back. There's a whole server where they all quit Destiny, but they would literally get back into the game as soon as Scourge would be added, which I hope that helps your decision making when it comes to bringing back raids. I've actually never played Scourge, so I don't know what it's like. But like, anyway, my point is Red War. Red War coming back is substantial. I crave playing it still. I crave replaying it. I was scared to replay it when I was younger because I thought if I replayed it, it would set all my stuff back to 0. Now that I know, that's not the case. And if I knew that at the time, I would have replayed it over and over and over again. I love that campaign so much. I love it. I love it so much. And like, it was cheesy. It wasn't the best. It was cliche. It was so cliche. Every part of it was a cliche and whatnot. But I loved it. Speaking of cliches, it uses not every sci-fi, but it uses so many sci-fi cliches that have been in the genre for more than like 50 years. And there's a reason I'm saying that. Because of the lawsuit. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand how the lawsuit got as far as it did. Because they settled. But like, I don't know how it got as far as it did. Because realistically, it should not have gone anywhere. Because they dismissed like Bungie shutting it down because they couldn't provide full gameplay evidence. But if that's the case, then how could he sue for his not his game, but how could the author sue for infringement on his like writing if he can't provide the same evidence? I feel like the court, like that case would just be thrown out because neither side can provide evidence. Like if a YouTube video isn't like good enough for like, you know, Bungie, it shouldn't be good enough for like the author or like notes. Like if the only thing that was good enough was like actual gameplay, unaltered gameplay, then neither side should have been able to make a case. Maybe I'm stupid. For people who have read the book, they have told me that that realistically they don't see how. For people who have played Red War and then read the book, they don't see how, because like there is a group called the Red Legion. But like that is the most basic fucking name. And if that's grounds to sue, then we're all screwed by Disney because Empire. No, actually George Lucas, because he's the one who made those movies. So like we're all screwed if we're gonna get like sue for a name like that. If we're gonna sue for a name as basic as Red Legion, then like I said, every company is screwed because Disney will eat you all alive. Because that's what it was, basically. And like he talks about the Traveler, or like he doesn't straight up say like the Traveler's, is what it's called, but it's a being that gives you power. How many goddamn stories are like that? Goddamn Greek mythology has things like that. Like, come on. If like the plot of his book is so bland, so basic, the people who I've been like talking about who have tried to read it, some of them didn't even finish it because it was that fucking bland. I genuinely feel like this was just like a ploy to get that guy to have people read his books. But like, I'm not gonna lie, your books are kind of fucking ass. Anyway. Like, I don't think that's grounds to sue. Now, if there was legitimate plagiarism, fucking yeah, it's sue. But like the way, like he dumbed his plot down in such a way when like in the lawsuit that you were just describing like half of sci-fi movies and like shows and whatnot, just any sci-fi medium. You were describing half of it. A hero loses their power, and then like after tyrannical government not government but tyrannical empire, as we'll call them, takes it over, but a savior regains that power and uses it to stop them and regain their home. That's how it was described. That's the plot of Red War. That's the plot of so many sci-fi things. You could probably tell me all the things that sounds like to you. And near the end, Curse of Osiris was wrapped in there as well. I don't even know what claims were for Curse of Osiris or for the Grimoire books. All of the Grimoire books got thrown in there as well. That's crazy. Like, what the hell? I don't even know what to say about that. Anyway, that's that. I wanted to talk about it because I feel like I would be doing a disservice to Destiny if I just didn't. I need to talk about that, so I did. Anyway. I'll talk about some of that stuff that was in that survey. SRL. I love SRL. It's so awesome. It's one of my favorite game modes. And like, God, it's so cool. Like, SRL just needs to come back. Like, simple as that. I love it to death. It was such a great game mode. Genuinely. That reminds me of a time. Like, I was playing it with Goku 1729, Pikachu X Spartan, Colin Shuquick, and like 2 other people. They were probably randoms. This would have been 2016 December. So right after I got Rise of Iron, so like Christmas. And like it was snowing in the tower, and you know what we did after snowing? We went in Crucible, we played Sparrow Racing League, and we got the armor, and after I equipped some of the armor, I started like doing really badly, and I was like, what do you mean? I couldn't make certain jumps, and I found out it was because one of the armor pieces I had, they had a mod on that made it to where I just couldn't like make the jump because it increased my fall speed in a Sparrow. And like, what the hell? Why would somebody want that? God, but like it was so fun. It genuinely reminds me of like so much of my youth, if that makes any sense. Like SRL just reminds me of a time long since past. Which makes me sound dramatic, and that's because I am. I'm very dramatic in everything I say. But if I wasn't dramatic, then like, you know, blah 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 blah, you know, like that. I'm not funny. Why do any of you like listen to my podcast? But like SRL means a lot to me, and there are so many friends that, because like, fun fact about D1, you can go in the custom games and play it, and like you can like go set up like lobbies and play SRL. You can't do it in like matchmaking, but like I said, custom games, you can play the hell out of SRL in Destiny 1. Mind you, that's Destiny 1, but like, hey, that's better than nothing. Apparently, Destiny Rising's going to have SRL, or probably already has. I don't know. I haven't been playing it. I deleted that bitch off my phone because I already got like games to worry about. Like, I've been playing another game. Anyway, I'll get into that. There is another reason I brought up Destiny Rising, because with Destiny Rising, they ask for like features that you'd want. Like, there are things, it's like, are there things in Destiny Rising that are not in D2 that you would like to see in D2? Dual-wieldable weapons. Or dual-wielding weapons. Maybe even if it's just an exotic, where it's like 2 guns we already have, but dual-wielded. You know? And instead of being able to aim down sights, you shoot the other one. Which I think would be pretty rad. It'd be sick and awesome, and like, I'd love every bit of it, you know? It would be awesome, genuinely. What else would I want? I am genuinely curious on what that meant, the NPC thing. Because that is really interesting to think about. Because like, they could theoretically add pets. I don't know what that would entail. I won't lie. Oh, wait. Pets. Hang on, I just thought about it. Warbeast, for example. Shanks. I know they're not really, like, pet-like, but, you know. If we could go down the pet system that Ghost said. Like I said, Shanks, Warbeast. If you want to get crazy, Screeves. Imps, because I don't know if harpies would really work. A thrall. I don't know, because I doubt like they'd make it to where you just summon a dog. Although that would be awesome. Wait, no, not a dog. You summon a wolf, like from the Iron Temple. Wait, that's actually a really great idea. What the hell? But like, the way I would want it realistically is either the balls to the wall thing that I said, where you summon a literal like character, like Saint, or like you could summon Mizrex or Keitel or any of the other people we fought alongside with. And like if it's a guardian, it takes okay. They're a summonable, but like you have to fill up a meter like a super one not. And once you fill up that meter, or like, okay, no, okay, I got it now. So, say you can have up to 3, unless they have a certain power. So say like I could either have like 3 like just say I could have my 3 crew members from Plunder, or I could have Keitel and then like the Servitor, or if I go really big, I could just have Saint and that's it. And like, if they do that, I'm not gonna lie. If they do what I just said, I'm replaying every campaign with Saint 14 by my side. Oh my god. Can I beat Legendary if Saint is the only one shooting? My goal is I can only heal Saint, and that's it. Oh my god, that would be awesome. The videos that would come from that. The amount of people who would try that. Oh my god, I'd love that. They should so do that now. Oh my god. I'd love that. And I keep saying Saint because, like, realistically, I'd say Cade, but that motherfucker dead. And I don't have the same love for any other hunter that's currently alive. You know what? There is an almost equal amount for 2 hunters. One of them is actually no longer a guardian, but let's not think about that. Micah Tin and Eris Morn. I love those 2. Although, it'd be really weird if you could summon Eris Morn to fight alongside you. What gun would do you think they'd give her trust like she was using in the Heresy cutscene where she was just absolutely kicking ass? That'd be kind of funny. Wait, you could summon Eris and Drifter? Wait! Oh my god. Okay. Wait. Okay. Eris, Drifter, and Elsie. You get the Dark Vanguard rolling along. Wait, because like they could do missions where you have a forced companion for like a mission. And if they make those characters like have the ability to make them companions, you could just fight alongside them in a campaign mission. And like, oh my god, it'd be like, that's perfect. That is perfect. Do that. Bungie, for the love of God, do that. Oh my god. I'm probably like thinking too ambitious. I probably am. But like, I don't know. I'm just passionate. I'm just like really, really passionate about Destiny. Like this game helped me build upon friendships, and so many stories have been written because of this game in my friend groups. And not just stories, but characters have been developed, and either they've been moved from the Destiny scene or they're continuing to flourish and expand in the Destiny universe. And like, I love that. I don't know, I just really like Destiny, if that wasn't obvious. Another thing they said in that thing was trophy room. Now, I think that's probably the closest we'd get to like player housing. Could you imagine like all of like the triumphs you could get, like they retroactively go back and be like, oh, if you've done this triumph, you get like this that you can put in here. It's kind of like the aquarium during Season of the Deep, how some of like if you got all the things for a collectible in a previous season, that collectible or one of those collectibles were sitting inside your aquarium. Something like that. I'd love if, like, for example, my museum from Echoes could be there, or my aquarium with all my fish, or like so like the thing that like I just said, where like one of the collectibles that like of all the collectibles I got from each season were there. That'd be cool. And like there'd be other ones like, you know, that you could put some of the stuff from the Beyond like the Europa camp in there. That would be awesome. It'd be so sick. Um, what else? I was thinking about it. Like, I've gotten older. I've become more mature since it first came out. But feel like I have every right to have been upset about Forsaken because like that was my favorite character. But if they brought back all of that, I'd love to play. Um, I'd love to play that campaign again. Um, it was a fun campaign despite the main theme, and I don't know, it just meant a lot to me. And like it was just genuinely fun. I'd love the Tangled Shore as well. Okay, so here's the thing about it. They talk about more player interactions. That'd be awesome. Something I hope we see, because Forsaken just reminded me of this. You could buy bounties from the spider, and like these were like proper bounties. Like you'd go into a destination to go hunt down a bitch, and if you've bought a really big bounty, then you'd play a specific version of a lost sector, um, that had that fucker in it, and that was cool, and I liked that. Um, like that was fun. Um, but like more things like that in Destiny would be really, really good for the game. I think. At least I think so. I could be wrong. But like just more stuff like that, because then you're using destinations more. People are going to be using the patrol zones more. Like it's like, oh, you have to kill score skellies, Skuxies, Baron of the Exile on Europa. And so you go to Europa and you go kill that dude, and then you go back and be like, here's the bounty, and then boom, done. It'd be awesome. Oh, God. It'd be so cool. Ugh. I'd love it so much. Anyway, water break. Make sure to always drink water, people. It's important for your health. Um, I don't know. This this franchise means a lot to me, and if that wasn't obvious, I'm very passionate about like Destiny. Um, I love it. I genuinely do. And like I'm excited for the future of it. Like really. That survey seems so promising. The fact that they're asking, like the fact that they're considering to the point where they're asking people, like sending out surveys about it. That to me feels like progress. At least to me, it seems like progress. Like we're finally getting somewhere. And I'm really, really happy about that. And I love that. Like this, I could go on the whole like emotional spiel I did 2 episodes ago again, but like I don't know, I just love this franchise, and like I want people to be able to experience the whole story like I did when I was a kid. I want I want people to have that same experience, to have that same wonder that Destiny had for me. Like when I was younger, when I was a kid, like Destiny had this like crazy sense of like wonder and mystery. You wanted to explore these destinations. You wanted to see what was not on the map and what was out there. You wanted to search each deep crevice to see if there was something to find, a treasure to await, an enemy to kill. It was wonderful. And I'm not like sitting on hopium or copium of days since gone past. What I'm saying is they're asking people what they want. And I think maybe, just maybe, we're finally getting to a point where that is going to be a thing. Where I can load up Destiny and play anything that has ever been made for the game. Where I can sit down and I can play anything. I'd play Destiny a lot more than I already do. Like, time to bring up my favorite franchise once again. Gears of War. You know I had to do it at some point. But Gears of War, I love. And I can replay those campaigns anytime I want. And so I do. A lot. Like, almost every month, I'm replaying the Gears of War campaigns. Because I love them dearly. I'm a big fan of narratives. I love narratives, if that wasn't obvious. And if everything was back in Destiny, oh my god. There'd be like, okay, I would replay through everything in order. It's like, okay, I'm done. Time to do it again. And then that list gets longer and longer as more and more campaigns get added, either because they're new expansions or because they've been re-added. It's like, okay, well, Season of the Deep just got re-added. Time to replay through everything in order again. Even Lightfall. Because, like, that'd be incentive to play Lightfall. Although, I would like the replayability of expansions like Shadowkeep and Beyond Light. That's one thing I should say. If they do bring back these expansions, I want it to be like how it used to be, where you pick up the quest and you just do it all again. Now, I like the current system where you can pick any mission and replay it, but sometimes I want to replay every step and hear every piece of dialogue again. And you can't do that with the current system. I don't know. I really love that dialogue. Speaking of like stuff like that, Bungie, if you are like listening, I doubt you are, I plead with you, make it to where we can choose what version of a mission we're playing. And you're always saying, what do you mean? For Final Shape, a bunch of missions, alternate versions of missions or strikes were released, where instead of the original dialogue, they had Micah 10 and a other character. I want to be able to experience all that again. And I can't. And I would like the ability to do so. Because that was like a once per account thing. And I didn't know that. Which makes me really sad. In that same vein, I would like the exotic mission wildcard to be replayable. Because in previous campaigns, the exotic missions have been replayable. Like, for example, in Beyond Light, I can replay the one for Salvation's Grip and the other exotic, a Lament. I can replay the exotic mission, I'm pretty sure, for Lightfall. So why can't I replay the mission for, Final Shape, for a wild card? I'd love to. I don't know. With that being said, though, I'd like to say thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode of Rip's Talk Show. If you liked what you listened to, please let me know in the comments below. Is there anything you want to see added to Destiny, either old content or new? I'd love to hear. No one answered my question in the last episode in my comments, so I'm hoping this week's episode is different. I love hearing your feedback. All of you are important to me, so I'd love to hear what my community has to say. But with that being said, thank you all so much for listening. And if you're on Spotify, I'll see you next week. If you're on YouTube, if I don't record anything, I will also see you next week. But with that being said, goodbye, everyone.